Sam and Dan with the Ultimate Hobbyist.
Sam and Dan. Welcome back to the Ultimate Hobbyist with Sam and Dan. Sam Dan.
Dan Sam.
Indeed.
Kind of sounds like dancing. Dan Sam.
Dancing.
Also
Well-
a hobby.
Also a hobby. Welcome back to the Ultimate Hobbyist. We are Daniel and Samantha Chamberlain. So tonight, we're kind of doing an emergency recording because I got called to play in the Army all week. Nothing stupid, just some stuff I forgot about that I volunteered for. So,
All week long.
all week long. The only reason I'm back to record at home, I should be on a different computer, but I left a uniform here. My ASU's, my dress uniform. If you're in the Army, you know. If you're in the military, you know.
Whoops.
Anywho, so yeah, I forgot my uniform. So now I'm back home, which is good. It helps us get this recorded and edited and all that good stuff. And she didn't have to do it by herself.
It
So-
also helps the kiddos,
The kids needed it, yeah, because it would have been 6 days away.
which doesn't sound like much, but yeah, it is
It's been a busy month for me, really,
for both of us.
militarily. And yes, yours with all of your side hustles. Hustle hard. Tonight we're going to talk CrossFit because we recently started CrossFit. And we love it so far. We're still trying to make it a habit, so we miss more than we should.
We started off really good. I was going like 4 times a week, but
Yeah. I was going 3 or 4 times a week. I was getting up at like 4 in the morning and going, and then I stopped doing that because it will wear on you. But now we have to worry about like taking our kids or finding childcare, which we don't. We just take our kids and go in the evenings.
create a quiet box out of the boxes.
We do. Yes, the plyo boxes become Beckett's quiet room
Quiet
because
house.
they jam the music there, right? So yeah, he wants a quiet house. So anyway, that's what we're talking tonight. We were going to discuss kind of why we started doing CrossFit. We want to discuss how it's going so far, because we both, I think, are enjoying it, but we'll talk about our individual feelings there. And then we want to talk about the Open. If you're a CrossFitter, then you know the Open was recent. If you're not, the Open happened recently.
Quarterfinal workouts
yeah.
got announced today.
Did they?
Yeah, they're intense.
Yeah, I haven't seen them at all. So we're gonna. That's kind of where this podcast is gonna go with this episode. So let's just start with why we got
Why do
started
you
with
CrossFit, Daniel?
So why do I CrossFit? I had to adjust the gain on this microphone so it'll quit popping in my ear. Hopefully it's not doing the same for you. I needed to lose some weight. I went to Virginia for advanced leadership course, which is an Army class. And I don't really feel like I drink any more beer than usual. Beer's a hobby of ours, mine especially. But when I got home, I had gained some weight. Actually, I noticed it when I was there. I felt really
It's
bloated.
probably like November through ALC.
Yeah, but I wasn't gaining any weight. I went to ALC and I weighed in at 185 like I always weigh. And when I got home, I weighed 193. And I felt all 8 of those pounds. Every one of them. I felt maybe more than that. So, we decided we needed to get fit anyways. We needed to start doing something a little more active. We have a home gym. I think we talked about that on here before.
Maybe. I don't think so.
We bought a Rogue home gym at the beginning of the 2021. That January. It was like our Christmas gift to ourselves, and we use it, but not enough.
Yeah, we just go lift a little. We don't do like intense workouts.
And so we needed to do something active. That's Cooper barking in the background. You may or may not meet him at some point. So Sam is going to tell you why she started CrossFit, why I go let this dog out.
I started CrossFit because, well, I'm a physical therapist, and as a physical therapist, it's important to be fit enough to help our patients, but also because people follow people. I have been following and now am a teaching assistant for the Institute of Clinical Excellence, which is a physical therapy continuing ed company, as well as just kind of a tribe of physical therapists that really want to put fitness forward. And the best way to do that is to be fit yourself, but also you have to have the strength to help patients and not put yourself in a situation. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're limiting your patients because of your own abilities. So that's a large part of why I did it, but I also just wanted to be stronger. I noticed after having kids, my core strength had kind of plummeted naturally, and I didn't like that. So as soon as I found out that there was a CrossFit gym within a reasonable driving distance, then he got home from ALC. I said that Saturday morning, peace out, I'm going to CrossFit, and then he started to join in. So now we are CrossFitters, and a month into it, we decided we were going to participate in the Open. I don't know how smart that is, but at least we did it, and we have some really good baseline measures, which is kind of what the Open is all about, is getting those, like, where are we at now, where are we at next year, and let me tell you, I'm starting from the bottom, so I definitely will be seeing huge improvements over the year, and that's going to be fun. So it gives you some really good goals and marks to hit, and of course, if you don't track it, you don't know how you're doing, so that's another bonus of doing the Open is you get some good numbers in and someone coaching you through it. Trying to make me eat a microphone over here. So that's my why.
Yeah. So additionally to just wanting to lose weight, the Army has also gone to a new physical fitness test, and they're calling it the Army Combat Fitness Test. It actually today or yesterday, I can't remember, one of the days it went live. Like, they officially said, okay, it's in, and we got our timeline, and it's like, I want to say it's October 1st is when it really starts counting for us, or like it can do diagnostics, or we could be for record, and then next April we have to start taking record, and then by the next April, which will be 2024,
It is the physical fitness test.
we all have to have one for record. So as of now, it is the physical fitness test. The APFT is gone, which was the Army physical fitness test, and the Army combat fitness test is in, which it's awesome. Since I joined the Army, the APFT has been dumb. It's just really, really bad. It was just push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, which measures absolutely nothing that you do in the military. So now we're doing, you have to do a deadlift, which is a good leg strength, right? And I guess a back strength. I don't know.
Back stabilize. You have to have back stabilizing muscles to be able to do a deadlift.
Right.
So it's a glute and hamstring.
And then we still have a form of push-ups, but it's called a hand release push-up. And so you like do a push-up and go down, and your hands have to go out into a T, and then come back and push out again. They also like made it where our hands have to be inside the shoulder. Where used to you could like go in and out, but they want to test what's in your anyway. So, and then what else we do? So sprint, drag, carry, which is a running kind of a hit training, which is where CrossFit's really going to help. And then a plank. They took away the leg tuck. The leg tuck was originally one of the events, but it was most females were failing it. I think I saw the stats, and like 75% of National Guardsmen females were failing it. 50% of active duty females were failing it because of that. And then officers was a little bit less. I mean, but yeah, a lot of females were failing it. So they did do away with that. It was gender neutral and age neutral, so it didn't matter. It was like a legit test. They went back and added that, which I think is going to be the biggest thing that most of us are going to disagree with. And I know why they did it, but we're in this time of equality with genders and age and all that, right? Like, you can't exclude anyone. And so it's like females wanted in the infantry or in combat arms, and now they're in, which is awesome. We have nothing against that. We, as in like soldiers, the common soldier. I'm not anything special. I'm just very common soldier. But at the same time, you have to ask, can that female who joined, let's say, the infantry, can she drag a 220-pound man with his body armor, which is another 100 pounds of gear, out of a fight. And then you have to answer that question. So that's what the ACFT was going to do. It was like there was originally your job like determined how high you had to score. So if you couldn't score a certain level or a certain amount of points, then you just couldn't have a certain job. And so that's kind of how they were going to limit.
Which I think that makes more sense.
Right. They were going to limit people getting in that couldn't physically do a job, right? So if you were infantry, you had to score really, really high. Weirdly, if you were a truck driver, you did too, but it's because to change tires, the tire's like 500 pounds, 700 pounds, it's some outrage. I think it's 500 pounds for some of the bigger ones. And you have to be able to change that tire. Now, no one's manhandling a 500-pound tire, but you got to be able to like take it down with a assistance and then roll it. And if it got a little wobbly, can you keep it up, right, and get it to your truck? So anyway, you think about doing that in combat, it really changes things. We got off on the ACFT really big here.
Yeah, we did.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, just to finish
okay.
up this section. So
It's an
now
interesting
it's
topic.
no longer gender neutral. They went males versus females with different scores, and then they also did it by age.
Do you know why
again.
they switched it from job specific to males, females?
No, it was we're technically in ACFT 3.0, so the third version. The first version was job specific and the leg tuck, and the second version came out was no longer job specific. Everyone had the exact same requirements. Male or female or job or age or didn't matter. And then they added the plank in as an alternate for the leg tuck, so you could just pick whichever one. And I kind of thought that's where it was going to stay, but instead they got rid of the leg tuck altogether. And if you don't know what a leg tuck is for the ACFT, it was hanging on a pull-up bar. You had to pull, like with the straight arms, you had to pull up to where your head was like almost touching the bar, and then pull your knees up to touch the bottom of your elbows. Like they had to connect. So it doesn't sound that hard, but like I could do 6. I have a pretty weak core for a guy. It's just never been my strong suit. Obviously, I gained weight and drank too much beer. So, but for females, that was really hard. And
you're really ragging on beer.
I know it. And I
Blaming
love
it
so
for all
much.
your faults.
Long story short, ACFT is now gender and age specific, no longer job specific. So it's kind of a different. It's just they redid it just like the APFT.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works. I think it'll be okay. I'm not ragging on it too hard yet. We'll kind of see. The times aren't even that different. I think if you go from a 17-year-old has a lower time for, like, say, the run, and then a lot of the ones in the middle are the same.
So
And then when you turn 55, you get 10 seconds.
So everything else
more.
is still the same, just the time to do it is longer for
Right.
males versus females?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need more reps as a male. You need a lower time as a male. So anyway, enough about the ACFT. But that's why I kind of wanted to do CrossFit as well, to kind of get my body ready for that high-intensity training, the HIIT type training, right? Because that's what this is. It's 6 events. You have to have your whole company done in under 90 minutes, which is 100 people or whatever. Obviously, you open a lot of lanes, so a lot of people are going at once. But the events are pretty quick. And you got to come out of to max the plank now, it's 3.5 minutes, I think, for males at my age. For most ages, really. I think it's 3.5 minutes to max at a plank, and then I immediately have to turn around and run 2 miles, and I have to do it in 13:50.
So they still have the 2-mile run?
Yes.
It's not the push, pull, carry.
You do that too. Sprint, carry, drag. Yeah, you do both.
Okay.
So it's 6 events. Anyway, it'll be fun. But CrossFit is helping me get better at that, and that's what I'm using it for. I need that score to go up, just so if you're promotable or whatever, you just want to have a
Lead
better
by
score.
example.
Yeah, that too. So that's why CrossFit. Lose weight and get better at the ACFT. And yours was?
Be stronger for my job and for life.
Exactly.
My upper extremity strength is trash, so I'm tired of that. Like, I just want to be stronger.
So you probably noticed this series is called the Years Saved series, and that's what that's going to be our physical fitness series here on the podcast. And that's just because, it's kind of I just talked about this with a guy today at drill. He was asking how he can get his dad to go outside and walk. But, you die. When you quit moving, you die, right? So if you move,
We'll have a more scientific episode. I almost wanted to wait on this one so that I could get all these facts together for you guys. But the years saved definitely come from a recent article that they did where just staying active and moving has been shown to save. There's 10,000 lives per year that could be saved by people just being more active, and also there's over 26 preventable chronic diseases that just a lot of the problems that we have in older adults is from deconditioning. It's not from getting old. It's from people sitting after they retire or having sedentary jobs and not being active outside of that. Because we're in that age where we're transitioning from the Industrial Revolution into technology, where a lot of our jobs are no longer physically demanding.
But our diets haven't changed.
And also we still follow like what our parents and our grandparents did, whereas, you know, they came home, we ate dinner, we went to bed type thing, or we got up early, went to work, and then, you know, same routine. Whereas now you have to prioritize physical fitness above just sitting or watching TV because our jobs aren't physically demanding.
And we don't farm as much, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot less being outside and having to do things.
Yeah, have to live.
Especially in our area. Now, if you're listening to this on the East Coast or the West Coast or maybe in a different country, hi, Ricky. Thanks for listening, buddy. And then whoever it is that decided to listen to us in Australia. Yeah, appreciate it. But, you know, maybe your lives are different. But here in the, I'm going to call it the Southwest, South Central United States. Yeah, Midwest, whatever. Oklahoma. People grew up farming, and now they don't anymore.
Yeah.
But they still want to eat like they do. We're still well, Dad ate this, so that's what I eat, and deep fried and salt. And so we're going to move on before we get too deep. This will become a dietitian's episode so fast. So next we're just going to answer the question how it's going so far. And I'm going to let Samantha go first because I talk too much. So how's it going so far?
Good. You know, it's going pretty well.
Talk about CrossFit, not years saved or eating less salt.
Right. I don't have a problem with eating less salt. That's not a problem I have. I've actually been told to eat more salt, but I'm a special kind of special. So there's that. It is going really well. I really like it. Our CrossFit box is pretty small, which is fine. Ages definitely vary in the class that I typically go to, and it's a lot of fun. The community's starting to build as far as like, you know, I'm getting to know the people that are there. Faces are getting familiar. Like today, it was a one fun 30-minute EMOM of a workout, which is really long for a CrossFit workout if you're familiar with it. But you know, we were running, and I started talking to some of the other girls that are in there, and it was just, there's a lot of encouragement and community in it. I'm typically very introverted and prefer my solitude and just my peaceful little household. And so to make myself go to CrossFit the first time, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Everyone says community matters, and that's another important part in aging, is having a social network. So I forced myself to give it a try, and I actually love it. It's it hits differently working out with a group of people versus working out in our gym. I still like going out in our gym and just seeing what I can lift, but as far as getting a true like intense workout, I definitely do not push myself the same in the garage as I do out in the CrossFit box. So definitely seeing some benefits from going somewhere to do the workouts.
I think there's the sense of camaraderie, or that I will push myself because I'm around other people. It's not a novel idea at all. No. I mean, you experience that everywhere. If you work out, you probably don't go out by yourself, right? You have to be a special kind of person to be a self-starter like that, and to keep that fuel pushing you harder and harder.
Cheat yourself really easy with not being around other people.
So
how's it going, Daniel?
I agree. It's also going very well. I'm really working on my ums. Okay, guys. I realized I was editing the other night. I was like, I say that a lot. That's my New Year's resolution. My new podcast resolution.
You get 10 podcasts, so you got 5 more to get it under control.
Okay.
Set limits.
However, I'll just use however now. However, I very much so enjoy the workouts. It is nice to be back in the gym. I've never been a gym rat, but I've definitely been a workout person before. And I would say that this is probably the best environment I've ever worked out in. Deployment environment's a little bit kind of the same way. It's like 2 or 3 dudes you go to the gym with every single day. Like, you may have one off day. So it's very similar to that. I'm kind of getting that. I know the people I want to go in and kind of work out beside or with, or and now that we've done the open, we can, we've talked about these benchmarks. Like, how did you score on that? Because our app we use Wadify is what our group uses to make their WODs, their workouts. WODs is weird. But, so we can score ourselves every day. Every single exercise has scores of some kind. So you can kind of compare yourself to the other people in the gym.
But more importantly, to yourself.
Yeah.
It's self-tracking.
When we get there, yes. Excuse me, I had to yawn.
Because it'll also have your leadership. Like, it'll have your leaderboard of yourself, not just
so if
comparing to others,
if you hit a PR or something, it'll tell you.
Yeah.
But we haven't been there long enough to repeat too many workouts. Like squat, we did 3 times in 5 days or something when we started, and we haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
Like back squat.
It was this week, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I've just missed some being away. Anyways, I'm enjoying the working out and just like that kind of being the good sore again.
No,
I'm sure that most of
definitely
you have
always
some
worthwhile.
version of DOMs, right? I have felt that, and it's nice. It feels good. It feels good to hurt because you're working out again. However, I will say that the aerobic section of this has definitely whipped my tail.
Which always surprises me because this guy can like not run for months at a time and then go run 2 miles in like under 12 minutes, which to me it takes me that long to run 1 mile. So I'm like, whatever.
Minutes. I'm a 7.5 minute per mile person, no matter how much training I've really had. If I'm going out to run, I can generally maintain 7.5 minute miles for like maybe, let's say 5 mile max. Maybe 8 minutes if I get to that past 4 miles. But if I go running and I'm tracking myself, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for that 7:30. My app yells at me all the time to slow down because I need to do
Pacing.
Right. I
for
need
long
to work
distance
that.
run.
And now I'm feeling that because it's just a different exercise for aerobics, right? It's not. My heart rate is my limiting factor. It is my bottleneck when I'm doing the CrossFit. It's not generally like my arms get tired or my legs get tired or my back or whatever we're working that day. It's I can't get blood to my muscles and I feel it. So I would say that's how it's going so far, is that I am finding limitations I didn't know I had. But I love it. And I'm working on it. I started using my watch to track my heart rate during workouts, trying to stay a little bit lower instead of just like peaking it out all the time. It was at, like 205 or something the other day when we were doing that.
I don't know. I saw it at 175.
175 is, it's been 175, 180 multiple times. So I'm trying to stick around that 150-ish area and then just slow down. But it's so hard to do when people are good are there and they're pushing it and they're getting ahead of me.
Gooder?
When people that are good are in there.
Oh, okay.
When more fit people are outperforming me, it angers me on the inside, and I have to go try to perform better. And you just can't. I can't. I'm not there.
No, we've been doing it a month. I mean,
so I'm finding my plateaus.
we think of ourselves
not
as
my plateaus, but my bottlenecks. That's it. My limiting factors, and it's my heart rate. It's my aerobic fitness.
That's why we're there.
That's right. Last thing we want to cover tonight is the Open.
Yeah, we did this crazy thing where we joined the CrossFit gym the beginning of February and then participated in the Open, which started the end of February. So, rock on, right?
So the Open was very weird because we had to pick what... They didn't say, oh, here's your level you're going to participate in, right? The Open allows you to participate however you want. So the 3 levels are what they call RX or prescribed, which is the weights and the exercises are what everybody across the world's doing.
Yeah.
That's the people who are getting first place because of their score. That's the one they're doing. Then it goes down to scaled.
Mm-hmm.
And scaled is like... Our dog just got let in. I guess Beckett got up. He got tired of the barking.
He might let himself in. Oh, no, Beckett did it.
There's Beckett.
You want more peanut butter?
Yeah.
So, scaled... Say hi, Beckett.
Do you like going...
More peanut butter.
Okay, can you tell everybody what you think about going to the exercise place?
I went to an exercise place.
How did it go? Did it go...
Not great.
Not great? Why not?
It's because humans pushed me and stuff.
Humans don't push you there and stuff.
He's making stuff up.
Does Daddy make you a quiet house?
Yeah.
What's your quiet house look like?
Rectangle.
It is rectangles. Yep.
Do you ever work out with us?
No.
You don't run with Daddy?
No.
I think you've ran with me a few times.
Do you use the little PVC
And one,
and do movements with Daddy?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you good at exercising?
that.
Does it make you what does it do for us?
Stronger and stronger.
Stronger and stronger.
That's right.
Sorry about that interruption. Becca Teen decided he needed to come say hi to us after he let Cooper in. As you heard, he wanted some peanut butter. He does go with us. He goes with us a lot to the gym because Sam gets off at 4. The class starts at 4:30, so I just go I get off like 3:30ish or whatever. I go pick up the kids, we go meet her, and then we go to the gym. So he goes quite a bit. So he has a good time there. We were talking about scaled. So the scaled version of the open or whatever workout, and this is pretty much any workout when you're there, you can modify things. So scaled is just a modification of whatever workout. So for instance, if it was a jump up on a box, you may be able to step up on the box, or it could be a weight difference. So if maybe it's a 55-pound dumbbell is the prescribed weight, you can bump that down to 35. Pull-ups, if you think like you're doing strict pull-ups, you have to reach up, grab, straight arm, pull up, come back down, and maybe you have to do a bunch of those. So the scaled version may just be, you may get a band to help pull you up, or you may be able to step up off a box. In the open, they had pull-ups in the last one, and it was like a jumping pull-up. So you could put a box that allowed you to, your head was within 6 inches of the pull-up bar, and you could jump up as you pulled to get your head or get your chin above, and then come back down. So sometimes it changes weight, sometimes it changes that exercise in some way, or sometimes it changes the amount of times you have to do a said thing. And sometimes it changes all those. Foundations is the last one, and foundations is you do 0 exercises generally. I mean, it's not during the open or not during that workout, but what you're prepared to do, what your body's conditioned to do. So if you're someone that doesn't have body strength, then foundations may be for you, because it allows you to practice the strict movements, but instead of doing a pull-up, maybe you're doing a row from overhead with a rubber band or something to engage those muscles and get them used to doing that motion. So that's foundations. So the reason those matter in the open is because your score is based on which of those 3 levels you do. So they determine in the open that, so we're going to do an exercise and this is prescribed, and they tell you exactly how to do the workout, the exercise, the weight, whatever, and then what the next level is and how they are to do it in the next level, what that looks like, because these are highly graded or whatever, scrutinized. If you're just going every day to your CrossFit gym, you can still be in these same levels, but it's more about how you want to modify it. So there may be 15 modifications to a squat, but in the open there's 3 modifications, and you're doing either A, B, or C, and that would either be prescribed, scaled, or foundations. So the reason it really matters is because it's going to count your scoring. And basically what our coach told us was the scoring is approximately 7 to 1 reps for each level. So what that means is, like, if I have to do, let's just say I have to do pull-ups. We're just going to stick with the same one because I've already been talking about it. So if I'm doing the RX, I have to do 1 pull-up, and that's equal to 1 pull-up. If I move down to scaled, it may be a 7 pull-ups to count for that 1. So to get the same amount of points as that single pull-up in prescribed, I have to do 7 of the scaled ones, or 14 of the foundation ones. Well, if you go down too low and you complete the whole workout, it may only be like 250 or 280 reps or something. Well, you're never going to get as far as you would have if you did half of the one above it or something. Right? So that's basically how it was identified to us. I haven't compared or gone and looked at the exact numbers, but that's kind of what we've been going off of.
We both have regret with 22.3 of not just sticking with, like, he was doing prescribed and I was doing scaled, and for 22.3 it involved the pull-ups, and
it was,
I'm not there
and
yet
double
for
unders.
sure.
Pull-ups were great, like a lot of pull-ups, double under. The presses, the weight was really heavy.
Yeah.
So I did a weird thing. So I started, like she said, our 22.1 and 22.2, we both did the same level. So I did prescribed on both. I didn't complete either one, but I got past halfway on both, and that scored very well. The night we did 22.3, we did it at home. We recorded ourselves, and our coach graded it, basically.
Yeah, like, we are not qualifying for anything, so it's not like it was scandalous or anything.
Right.
It was just for our own
Our family
purposes.
had come into town.
Yeah.
We needed to know how we were going to do, so we did it in our gym.
We wanted to complete the open.
In our home gym. Right. And it was just a long day. I was not prepared mentally nor physically to go try to do this. Because
Me
we
neither.
had to have them in by Monday night, and it was Monday night when
Yeah.
we did these.
I got home at 3
I had-
o'clock on Monday morning, went to work, and then came home and did it. So
That's
I was
right.
exhausted.
And then I didn't have drill. I don't remember. Something kept me pretty busy that weekend.
Your parents or well, I don't know what, the boys.
Yeah. So we just weren't able to get to our gym to do it. So we did it at home on Monday night. However, I had done prescribed for the first two. And like I said, I didn't even get halfway through them. Or I went about halfway through on both. But there was no way I was
The
going
first
to
one was
complete.
just for time, though. So
Yeah. Well, it was reps.
you were counting reps. Was your score in that amount of time?
Yes. So 22.3, I started trying to do prescribed, but I was out there by myself. So we talked about that earlier. Being with a group or people cheering you on, even or just being around watching is different.
Yeah.
Sam was inside hosting my family. She had went first. She'd already done hers. So I went out and tried to do the prescribed, and I just wasn't there. The pull-ups, I mean, I did 8 or 10 pull-ups, and I was like pretty smoked already. And I think it started with 21 pull-ups and then a bunch of double unders. And so I got through those pull-ups eventually. I think I changed. That's when I just stopped and restarted my timer, and that's what it was. And I went back and did scaled. Because not only was the pull-ups really hard, I got to 10, and it was like I was having to do 1 or 2 at a time, and I had to get to 21, and you only have 15 minutes, 12 minutes?
Well, I think
12
it was
minutes
12.
on this one. But then I had to go outside and do double unders, which I can't do. Unfortunately, CrossFit put...
We also don't have the jump rope for a double under either.
Yeah, CrossFit put 2 of the harder or more technical... Like, the pull-up is very technical in CrossFit. You got to do, like, the kipping and the... If you watch the pros do it, right? The people that are getting done fast. If you're going to do strict pull-ups the whole time, you're
You're
at a
struggling.
disadvantage. Yes. The double under is very hard to do if you're not... I'm just not a jump rope guy. So, I went ahead and went with scaled. I was like a foot away from the bar. I didn't even do it fully to scaled. I was still doing harder than scaled, but not enough to keep it RX. And then I tried to practice my double unders. So I was doing single unders, and I would throw in a double under every third or fourth time or whatever. However I could get it. And I got through the press. But after I'd started, stopped, redid my timer, started again, I got through 1 set of presses, and I was like, I'm done. I'm smoked. So not only did I hurt myself because I went down a level, that killed my scoring, but I also didn't do more than 1 set of exercises because it was just a bad day. So all in all,
Those happen.
we
and
didn't do well.
It does happen.
So next year, I will definitely just stick with prescribed. Even if I would have done, and it comes down to that 7 to 1. I did 21, 50, so I did approximately 80 reps. I could have done 12 reps of pull-ups on RX and been the same score as all that work I did. And if I got past that, which I already was at 10, I think, when I stopped.
Yeah.
Then I would have been better off. So the scoring, Sam took a break there to go check on our son, and now I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about reps. So I would have done better to just get all the pull-ups. I would have scored higher than I ended up scoring, which didn't matter. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to stick with the RX. And next year I will. I will stick with the RX. And she'll probably be RX by then.
Well, I didn't think I'd be able to do even the scaled version with the thrusters. Like, it's a squat into an overhead press, and like I said, my overhead strength is terrible, so I just didn't think I'd be able to do it. But I was able to do the first round. So if I would have just done like the first round of what was on the scaled, I probably would have scored higher based on it, on what I could have done. Because by the time the weight bumps up, I wouldn't have got that far in the 12 minutes anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Right. The pull-ups would have eaten a lot of my 12 minutes. I still would have got 1 round done, maybe. But it would have been a better score. So that's the Open. We
lived, we learned.
Right.
We have a baseline.
Unfortunately, it's a year away now.
Right.
I wish there was another thing. But
what's cool about doing it so early in it is we get a true baseline of like kind of where we're starting.
Yeah, we additionally did a little bit of
and we're
small
starting
amount of
CrossFit in our
conditioning.
30s. So, I mean, we get, I don't know. It's like a cool data point for us.
So CrossFit for us, we got into it for different reasons, but mainly just to maintain strength as we begin to our aging process in our 30s. Mainly because we started seeing just the natural strength that we had or whatever conditioning we had going away. So that's how we're going to maintain is with CrossFit. We have always considered ourselves active people, and now we get to go be active and actually get better physically. And it'll help everywhere. It'll help with our scuba diving. It'll help with any kind of hiking we want to do. It'll help her with riding the dirt bikes. all the other hobbies that we want to do. It definitely helps us maintain. So it's going to tie into all of our other hobbies. We're super excited to be doing it. So that is going to do it for this episode. We appreciate you guys listening. If you've listened to more than one episode, feel free to give us a review. If you can do it on Apple Podcast, or I don't know if you can do it on Spotify. Maybe you can. It seems like most of our people come from Spotify. A few of you are listening on Apple Podcasts, and that's great too. We don't care where you listen. We love that you're listening. So shoot us a DM on Twitter if you're like, hey, I would rather you didn't do this, or like if you did this, reach out. Leave us a review if you want to. If the content you like it or don't, you can leave a bad review. A review's a review. So I just want to thank you for joining us on this great adventure. And we will talk to you next time on The Ultimate Hobbyist.